Yo, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today it is Wednesday, third day of the week, which means day 3 of our 2026 NFL position ranking series here on the channel. We're going to get right into this today. If you guys do enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this. And without further ado, let's get right into our top 10 linebackers in the NFL going into the 2026 season. Starting off at the number 10 position is a guy who is the definition of old school, the definition of longevity, and a new veteran piece for Aaron Glenn's defense in East Rutherford. It is none other than Demario Davis, a free agent this offseason, a new signing for the New York Jets, returning to where it all started. I believe this is actually his third stint with the Jets now, so he returns where it all started, this time under second-year head coach Aaron Glenn. And this guy's been the definition of consistency since he's been in the league. He's, I believe, 36, 37 years old now, made multiple Pro Bowls and multiple All-Pro teams, and GMs and executives rave about this guy. He is old school. He's not really your new school type versatile linebacker. He's just an off-ball, middle linebacker, do-it-all type of guy. So, yeah, at number 10, Demario Davis. Coming in at number 9 on the list, I believe it is our third straight day with a Seattle Seahawk taking place, and it fits the description because their defense was absolutely elite last year. New Super Bowl champion, former Los Angeles Ram, former Tennessee Titan, Ernest Jones. He stepped into Seattle, been a very, very solid player for Mike Macdonald's defense, and kind of molded into the player everybody thought he would be. He was originally a Ram, was known as a very solid player for Sean McVay, a very rock-solid player, but he really never lunged, so to speak, into that top 10 linebacker status. And this past year for the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, he did none other than that. Previously was traded to the Tennessee Titans from the Rams, and then got traded to the Seattle Seahawks within a few months. So a very good pickup for the Seahawks. Didn't cost him much at all. At number 9, Ernest Jones. Coming in at number 8 on the list, we have, similar to Demario Davis, a very old school linebacker. Hard hitter, gritty, hard-nosed, do-it-all linebacker. And that is Azeez Al-Shaair for the Houston Texans. Again, another linebacker that was the pillar, similar to Ernest Jones, of the best defense, in my opinion, last year, or one of the best defenses in the NFL. And he's just a hard hitter, old school, gritty type of guy that can do it all. And he's really stepped into Houston and really found his role. He's a former 49er. Was kind of considered an average player there, bounced around the league a little bit. He's really never been able to keep a home, but this time in Houston, it seems like this is his spot because he's played very, very well. I believe earlier in his career, he was a primary special teamer, but now he stepped into that full-time linebacker role and has stepped into it very, very well. He's had some controversial moments like the hit on Trevor Lawrence last year that evidently got him suspended for a game, so yeah, I mean, I guess people might compare him to Vontaze Burfict for that one. But, yeah, number 8, Azeez Al-Shaair. In at the number 7 position on the list, and this is highlight of the season right here. An All-Pro this past season, Carolina Panthers free agent signing, Devin Lloyd, rocking that number 0 for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Panthers paid big money for this man, and I guess he's one of the more underrated players in the league, I guess. Former draft pick out of Utah. Former first-round draft pick out of Utah, I should say. And he really got better and better every single year he was in Jacksonville. He was all right his rookie year, then he got better, and then he got better, and then he got better. He just kept getting better on his rookie contract. But now he finds a new home in free agency in Carolina. I really wanted the Bengals to go get this guy. They were rumored on him at one point, but yeah, I think it'll be a very good signing for the Carolina Panthers. An All-Pro last year, he had the best season of his career, and will he mold into that top 10 linebacker, or that top 5 linebacker, I should say, next year with Carolina, as he falls at number 7 on this list. But yeah, topping off number 7, Devin Lloyd. Coming in at the number 6 position on this list is another former first-round draft pick, and this time it is Dan Campbell's guy to a core. He just plays Dan Campbell football, if that makes any sort of sense, but it is Jack Campbell, former Lions first-round pick. Was seen as maybe a little bit of a reach when they picked him. I considered it maybe a little bit of a reach. He was considered to go in the late first, early second round, went in a little bit of the middle first. I think he was actually in the same draft as Jahmyr Gibbs. I think the Lions picked those two only a few picks apart, but he stepped into Detroit and been very, very good. I believe he's been a Pro Bowler. He has very good stats. He's been that pillar with the Lions defense in the second level Lions defense as the guys like Aiden Hutchinson off the edge when he's been healthy. I know he's dealt with some injuries, but when he's been on the edge, the second level has been there with Jack Campbell, with Alex Anzalone at points. Now he's with the Jets, I believe. Or he's with the Jets, right? Or he's with the Bucks. Is he with the Bucks? I think he's with the Bucks now, but yeah. At number 6, Jack Campbell. Coming in at number 5 on this list as we go into the top 5 is the Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Cleveland Browns. Future best linebacker in the league, pretty much everybody thinks. Former UCLA second-round draft pick, Carson Schlesinger. When the Browns picked this guy, everybody kind of knew it was a very good draft pick. Fans, analysts, everybody kind of loved the draft pick in the second round for value-wise for the Cleveland Browns. And man, he exceeded expectations last year, obviously going out, winning Defensive Rookie of the Year pretty handily. And outside of Myles Garrett and maybe Denzel Ward, he was probably the best player on the Cleveland Browns defense, and it was a very respectable unit. No matter how the Cleveland Browns season went, Jim Schwartz, he's a stellar defensive coordinator, and Carson Schlesinger was a very good piece in the middle for them, and he will continue to be that piece for the Cleveland Browns as Myles Garrett moves on to Los Angeles now. But yeah, at number 5, Carson Schlesinger. Coming in at the number 4 spot is a first-team All-Pro. The leader in combined tackles in the National Football League last year, an absolute beast of a tackler during his time in Seattle and now his time in South Beach. It is Jordan Brooks, who I thought potentially could be a trade candidate this offseason. I'm not saying he still can't be. Maybe in August, maybe when rosters are getting finalized, he could be a guy on the move. Everybody sees what's going on in Miami right now with John Eric Sullivan and the likely tank that's going to be going on in Miami. And Jordan Brooks might be the best player on that entire roster. As I said, a first-team All-Pro last season. So, yeah, people are saying he could be on the move, but this guy's been a stellar tackler for a long time now, was a stellar tackler in Seattle. The back half of his Seattle tenure kind of ended not very good, which was what led him to sign in with Miami in free agency. Now been with Miami for 2 years, and he really hit his stride last year. Was absolutely exceptional downhill, as you can see there, the tackle for loss on Tyler Algier. And the season he had last season propels him into the top 5 and evidently ending up at number 4 on this list, Jordan Brooks. Coming in at the number 3 spot on the list is one of the better stories in the NFL over the past 2 years. It is Zach Bond, former New Orleans Saint. Was a guy in New Orleans that was never really an every down player. I mean, in New Orleans, he was a rotational guy. He was a linebacker 3 behind Demario Davis, who we talked about a little bit earlier, but he was a guy who was not really an every down player. He was kind of a rotational player, solid rotational piece, but when he signed in Philly in 2024, we talked about him last year in the ranking series. He hit the ground running, was a first-team All-Pro in 2024, right from that opening game against Green Bay in Brazil. I remember on the opening Friday night, he was absolutely all over the field. Philadelphia got him for a cheap contract to work under Vic Fangio on a 1-year deal, and he earned himself an extension going into 2025, and 2025 was not much different. He was exceptional in 2025 as well, and was really molded into that every down, one of the best linebackers in the league, and will need to step up even more because Philadelphia has lost Nakobe Dean in free agency to Las Vegas. So at number 3 on the list, it is Zach Bond. I actually could not find highlights from 2025, so we are opening up the vault and the 2024 highlights. At number 2, pretty consensus top 2 at this point. You all know who the last 2 are going to be. At number 2, former Chicago Bear, current Baltimore Raven veteran, Roquan Smith. I believe these last two guys with Roquan Smith and the number 1 spot have been the consensus top 2 for about 3 or 4 years at this point. I don't want to say Roquan is as elite as he once was, but the linebacker position is pretty scarce as it is nowadays. I mean, there's an argument for Carson Schwessinger, who I talked about a little while ago, on the Browns to be in this number 2 spot. Roquan, he's had obviously elite years. He's regressed a little bit. Some Baltimore Ravens fans are not even big fans of him at this point. Some of them say he's slow. Some of them say he's bad downhill. But in my opinion, he's still clearly the second best linebacker in the National Football League, and there shouldn't really be a debate. He's just had enough good years to back it up at this point and have that argument and have that solidified number 2 spot. So at number 2, Roquan Smith. And number 1, everybody knows him. Everybody knows who it is. Clearly the best linebacker in the NFL, Fred Warner. Despite the injuries last year, even being injured early in the year, I believe in the Tampa Bay game he was hurt with the 49ers. Still the best linebacker in the league, and there's not really a debate about it. This guy just has traits that everybody else does not. He can do everything. He can go downhill. He can play in coverage. He's the whole package. He's the whole package as a linebacker and had the season-ending injury last year, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes back. Even with the season-ending injury last year, there was talk and there was rumblings that he could come back for the playoffs, so the Niners ended up making it deep. And evidently, obviously, everybody saw they lost to Seattle in embarrassing fashion in Lumen Field in the divisional round. But he didn't end up making it back, but he tried to. So clearly the best linebacker in the league, can do everything. I expect him to be back fully healthy this season with a vengeance and continue taking this number 1 spot every single year because he's that good. One of the top 10, 15 players in this league probably. We'll see when I map out the top 100 in a few weeks here, but at number 1, Fred Warner. And here is the full list. I ended up doing the top 20 on the spreadsheet here. As you can see, the top 10, Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, Zach Bond, Jordan Brooks, Carson Schwessinger, Jack Campbell, Devin Lloyd, Azeez Al-Shire, Ernest Jones, and Demario Davis. I want to give a shout out to number 11, Edgerrin Cooper, one of my favorite players in the league. I remember raving about him on the ranking series video last year when he was in the top 10. After only his rookie year out of Texas A&M, I expect him to have a much better second year. He really didn't come to fruition with that. I still expect him to be a very good player in this league, though, and an absolute stud, but shout out to him. As you can see, Foye Oluokun, Frank Lee Louvu, Nick Bolton, Leo Chanel. There's a few free agents on this list, I will say that. There's a few guys who signed with new teams this offseason that are on this list, Leo Chanel being one of them. Caden Ellis returning to the Saints, former Falcon and a Saint before that, returned to New Orleans. Jamian Sherwood, one of the more non-talked about guys. Alex Singleton, who's an absolute glue guy for Sean Payton's defense. Patrick Queen and Bobby Wagner getting number 20, who's still a free agent. Obviously, Seattle Seahawks franchise legend. Not who he once was, but everybody knows how good Bobby Wagner was in his prime. An absolute first ballot Hall of Famer in all likelihood. Then for the honorable mentions tab, you have Zaire Franklin, Nakobe Dean, Ivan Pace Jr., TJ Edwards, and Quay Walker. So, yeah, again, a few free agents there. Zaire Franklin to Green Bay in a trade, former Indianapolis Colt, Nakobe Dean, and Quay Walker, 2 free agent linebackers, now Las Vegas Raiders. But, yeah, that is going to do it for today's rankings video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, please like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications for more content exactly like this. Without further ado, we will be back tomorrow with interior defensive line rankings. I have already done the ranking. I just need to make the video on it, and it will be up tomorrow night around the same time as this. But, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a great night.